Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of CATIA vs SolidWorks. So we are designing this part right here and we're going to design it using both CATIA and then we're going to go to SolidWorks and design it. It's right here. And maybe if you're new to 3D design, you can get a feel of what it is to design using these two different softwares. They're both CAD softwares. They have different user interface, kind of similar tools and commands. So let's just dive right into it. Here is a 2D drawing of the part. So kind of save this for the measurement referencing. We're going to start with SolidWorks. And this is how the user interface looks like when you start SolidWorks. Go to New and select Part. We'll start by plotting the front plane. So from your left menu, select front plane, then go to sketch and select here sketch. Then start by creating a rectangle and we're going to create it above the horizontal axis. It's going to be lying on the horizontal axis like so. And then click escape. Then we want these two sides to be symmetrical with the vertical axis. So you can select this line, then Control, select this point. You can see the selected entities right here on the left. And then to insert existing relations, you can select from the menu and we're going to select midpoint and click enter. Or select this tick right here. Alright, then we're going to enter dimensions. So select Smart Dimension from the top menu. This horizontal axis is 96. The good thing about SolidWorks is immediately you enter a dimension, it pops up that dialog for you to enter the correct measurement. But when you go to CATIA, you have to double click on it. And then this side one is 100. Then we need to create two circles right here. So if you notice this, that when you select a command in SolidWorks, it kind of remains with the cursor and you have to either click on it or click escape from your keyboard. So that is important to note. To zoom in and out, you have to use the scroll button. And then to pan, press Control and then you can press the scroll button and you can drag along. Okay. And to rotate, you just have to press the scroll button and move it around. To go back to the normal, just come here and select normal. Alright, so we need to create two circles right here. So I'm just going to create one and mirror it. And so to do that, you need to create a center line here. Go to line and drop down menu, select center line. We're just going to create it here where it's highlighted with the vertical axis. Then double click and select escape. Select circle. Come here, drag it the diameter. Okay, escape. Select Smart Dimension. Then we're going to specify the dimension from the center to this top edge. And it's going to be 16. Once again, from the center to this side edge. And it's going to be 18. And finally, select the diameter. And the diameter is 16. Escape dimensioning. Now from the top, there is the command for mirror entities. You're going to select it. Select this circle and then mirror about this center line, but ensure that the copy is selected. Otherwise, you're just going to create a new one and delete the first one. So make sure the copy is selected so we can keep the original one, and click enter. Then to exit the sketch, click on this icon. Now go to features. We were at sketch menu. Now go to features, select extruded boss. Automatically it select our first sketch. If it had not selected it, all you need to do is select it. And here you can change the direction of extrusion to either that side or this side. We're going to leave it at the positive Z axis. You can check your axis system from the bottom left corner. And then the dimension is 18. Hope you can see where I'm entering the dimensions from the left menu. Enter. And enter once more. Select this top edge. Rotate. Control and select this other edge as well. So they are both highlighted. And then from the top menu, we're going to select fillet. The diameter is 10 millimeters. And then click enter. By the way, we have different types. So as you can see, the first one is where we have constant size fillet. And then we have variable size fillet. We have face fillet. And then we have full round fillet. So we're going to select just the constant size fillet and then click enter. Now we need to create the profile for the bottom part. Select top plane and go to sketch. Once again, sketch. All right. Then we can create this first edge. So select line. From this first part all the way to the other side. Double click to exit. And then another line. Let me zoom out. And then turn this upwards. Another line, say from here. Just make sure the edge is highlighted. You're starting from the edge. A straight line. You can see a horizontal line marked with a blue highlight. And then one all the way to the vertical axis. Double click. So I'm going to mirror whatever I'm going to create this side to the other side. So as I said before, it's good to create a center line where we're going to mirror it from. And it's aligning with the vertical axis. Double click. Then exit. Now here we need to create a corner. We can do that using an arc. You can either use a tangent arc or a 3-point arc. I'm going to use the 3-point arc. Select the first point, the second point, and the third point right there. Right? Let's escape that. Now we can enter constraints. So I'm going to zoom in. I need this arc to be tangent both with the horizontal line and the vertical line. So you can select this line. Select this line. And control select this arc. So both two entities are selected and we're going to enter a relation of tangency. Then once again this arc and this line. Make sure they're both selected, tangency. Lastly, we can come here, select smart dimension, click the arc, and the radius is 13. Now we can trim this off using power trim. Go to trim entities, select power trim, and you just need to drag, click and drag across the element that you want to trim, and it automatically trims off. Escape. Zoom out. Now we need to specify the distance between this to this point as well as the last point. Let's start with this point. So smart dimension from this edge to this point, that's going to be 60. Escape dimensioning. But before we specify the distance here, because we're going to create an arc, let's just mirror these elements to the other side. So go to mirror entities, and we're going to select this arc and these two lines as the entities to mirror. Make sure the copy is selected and then mirror about this center line. You can either enter OK or select the tick as I showed you before. And then now we can create a corner right here. So select corner. You can see the menus are very conveniently displayed for you at the top toolbar. So select corner or sketch fillet. And select this vertex. And then the dimension is 18. The radius is 18. Now we can specify the distance between the center of this radius and this edge, which was 120. It was 60 up to here, 60 up to here. Smart dimension from this edge to this center, that's going to be 120. Enter. All right. Now we can create the circles. The good thing about SolidWorks, again, why it's more convenient for beginners than CATIA, I can create all the elements here and then use them separately when creating features, which is different when you're in CATIA. So select circle, select this as your center, and just drag along the radius. Select smart dimension, and we're going to give it a diameter definition of 16. Good. Exit. Then we can create two more circles right here. We are going to constrain them later on. Just make sure they are along the vertical axis. Drag one out. Again from the center. Drag another one out. Exit. Go to smart dimension, and the first one, the diameter is 50. You can always refer back to the 2D drawing I showed earlier. The second one, the diameter is 25. Enter. Then we need to make sure that this center aligns with this vertex right here. I don't know if we can align the two centers with coincidence, or I need to make a center line. Let's try. Select this. Control, hold, and select the other one. No. Exit, sorry. Let's Control Z and do that. As you can see, I had not, my smart dimension was still selected. Okay, now I can select this point. And then once again, this point. And I want to see if I can enter a coincident relation. If it's yellow, it means that's not possible. So Control Z. What we can do, we can create a center line running from this edge. So you can kind of see it. It's highlighted in blue all the way across, like so. Exit. And then now you can select this point. Control hold, select this center line, and then create coincident constraint. That's better. So in SolidWorks, if your lines are blue, it means they are kind of under defined or under constrained. And if they are black, it means that they are properly constrained. If they are yellow or red, it means there is an error. So in this case, I think so far we're good. we're good to go. We don't need any more dimensions. So exit. Now, as I said before, I can use the different elements of this sketch to create different features, unlike in CATIA. So make sure the sketch tool is selected and then go to features, select extruded boss stroke base. And you can change the direction using this icon. Obviously, we're going up. The dimension is 18 millimeters. And I want to select the faces that I need to extrude. So I can select that face, and also this face. And just leave this one as a whole first. Okay. Enter. So we have that part at first. Then from this menu, you can find the sketch again and select it. And go again, extruded base. And now we can select a different face. For example, I can only select that face to be extruded. But now remember, because we are extruding from the bottom all the way up, and it was 40 millimeters from this face, we're going to add 40 with 18, which will be 58. So you're going to specify here, the dimension is 58. And as you can see, we have the extruded face. So select enter once more. Okay. Now the last thing we need to do, now actually let's first create this fillet. Select this edge, rotate your geometry, control hold, select this edge, go to the top menu and select fillet. Once again, I'm going to leave the dimension at 10 millimeters because it wasn't specified, and just enter. Now we need to create a rib. In SolidWorks, it's a rib. In CATIA, it's a stiffener. So select the right plane in the middle, sketch. We're going to make a sketch for the rib. Select a curve. I'm going to select a 3-point arc once more. Then this edge point. Second point is our edge point at the top. And drag the curve. From the drawing, it seems like the center is kind of aligning with the middle point of this element here. So I'm going to drag this such that the center seems to go all the way up there. I don't know if you can see the plus point indicating the center of the curve around the middle point there. Now go to Smart Dimension, and all you need to do is specify the radius, which is 60. Enter. And if it was specified that it's along this radius, all you have to do is to create a middle point here, a center line at the middle point of this edge, and then align that center with that. But in this case, we're not going to do that. Just escape and then exit the sketch mode. Now go to again features, select rib. Then the thickness, you can always change the direction of the thickness here. For example, you see that is going vertically, and this is going, the thickness is defined horizontally. So we need to specify the thickness that way. And then it's obviously 10 millimeters from the drawing. So just enter. And it automatically creates a rib between these two features that you joined. And we have our full geometry. So that's SolidWorks. Kind of easy to use if you're a beginner, not so much going on here. Now let's go to CATIA. So in CATIA, this is the first interface you see when you open it. Then just go to Start, Mechanical Design, Part Design. As I said, CATIA is more organized in different, it's a multifunction 3D design software. So it has CAD, CAM, all this. So you're going to select Mechanical Design, Part Design. and create a new part. You can name it however you want. Select OK. We're going to go straight to sketching. First, select the YZ plane. The sketch icon is located at the top right corner. Select sketch. Select rectangle. And as we did in SolidWorks, just drop a rectangle and make sure that the bottom is aligning with the horizontal axis. So to define symmetry, we're not going to use middle point like we did before. Instead, you're going to select this edge, and then where the axis you want to align it with. Go here to constraints and select symmetry. Then select OK. If you don't find your tools here, you can always go to the top menu bar, select insert, and you can see constraints here, you can see profiles, and you can see operations. All right. Then the next thing we need to do is to enter the dimension. So you can select this constraint icon. I double clicked on it so it remains after I do my first constraint. Then the second one. So please note that difference, that in SolidWorks, automatically when you select a tool or a command, it remains with the cursor. But here, if you want it to remain with the cursor, you have to double click on it. Then exit. And then double click on this measurement to adjust it. Then this 96. So it doesn't pop up automatically like in SolidWorks. Double click on this and select 100. So the thing is, for detailed work, you kind of don't want things popping up like it does in SolidWorks. In SolidWorks, it's convenient for simple designs like the one we're doing. But when you're doing complex work and you need to take your time to enter the dimensions and everything, you need to use CATIA. Then we need to create the two circles. So just select on circle from profile menu, come here, select the center and drag the radius. Select constraints, one more, and then enter the diameter, which is 16. Then we're going to constrain the dimensions here. So double click on it. And it's from the center to this top edge. Then once again, from the center to this edge. So you can see what I mean with CATIA. Like I can first draw them out and then edit them later. And this is 16. And then this is 18. Then to mirror this one, we don't need to create an axis or a center line. We can just use this axis. So select this element, then go to mirror, select the vertical axis, and it automatically mirrors it, and then exit the workbench. Then to extrude it, you just need to create a pad and specify the length. We're going to enter 18 and select OK. Then select these two edges, this one, Control hold, select this one. Okay, and then go to insert, dress up features, select edge fillet. And then you can see we have selected two elements, specify it's the radius is 10 and select OK. All right. Now we need to create the bottom profile once again, and that's going to be the XY plane. Sketch. So the horizontal is facing this side. So just like we did, but now we can just select the bottom edge. Hold on. We can just select this edge, and then from this menu select project 3D elements. We're going to project them as not construction but standard element, and then select OK. To go back to the normal plane, all you have to do is select this normal view. Then, as we did before, select line from this edge, going straight forward. And again, from this point up to the middle point, like so. Then we create a 3D arc here. So you have more options here. You have a different kind of arcs. You can have 3-point arc, 3-point circle, tritangent circle. But once again, we're going to use the 3-point arc. So select this point first, this point, and then just kind of drop it there. Then since it's still highlighted, we can select constraint and enter the radius. All right. Now I need to make sure that this curve is tangent to both this line and this line. So here we have a tangency constraint. Just select this edge, this curve, and make sure they're tangent. Select OK. And now we can enter the radius, which is 13. Okay. And you need to make sure that this line is horizontal. Now to trim the elements, from this menu you can select quick trim and just click on the line you want to trim, and it's automatically going to trim itself. Now we need to specify the distance. So once again, select this edge and this point. That's going to be 60. We can bring this closer. And make sure it's still aligned with our vertical axis. Then we can mirror these elements with the with the horizontal axis, sorry. So just select the elements you want to mirror. And it's these 3 elements. Select mirror with this horizontal axis. And then create a corner here. We have different sorts of corners here. So we want the corner where you trim all the elements. Drag it, you can drag it to select radius, and then just specify here that the radius is 18. Now we can specify the distance from this point all the way to this point, just like we did before. Constrain this point with this edge, and the distance is 120. Now we can create the circle for the hole here. But as I mentioned before, we cannot create the other elements here. We have to create that after. Constrain it, and it's going to be 16. And that's it. Exit the workbench. Once again, create a pad, and the length is 18. Select OK. Now to create the other elements here, you have to select this face and sketch it. Create 2 circles which are concentric and aligning with the vertical axis. That is the first one. Enter the dimension to be 50. Select OK. And then create another circle, concentric, and constrain the diameter to 25. I don't know if you can see, because this part, Let's change the properties of this face so we can see. Go to graphic properties and you can enter a different color. And now you can see, so I'm trying to move this this center, and I want to align it with this point. I can create an axis like I did create a center line before, or I can specify the distance. Let's just specify the distance. I can select constraint from this point to this edge. The distance is 60. Select OK. And then exit. So now we can create another pad, which is 40 millimeters in length. Preview. And select OK. Right, now the next thing we need to create is obviously the profile for the stiffener. You can select Control from your keyboard and then the scroll button to zoom in and out. To rotate, I usually press the scroll button and then the right button, and you can freely rotate. Okay, so we can now select the ZX plane and then sketch. To be able to use this element, we need to select this edge and project 3D elements, but we're going to specify here that this is just construction element. Select OK, and once again project 3D elements, make sure it's construction element. Select OK, and then unselect construction element to now create the standard element, which is going to be an arc. So select 3-point arc. This is our first point, our second point. Specify the radius, which is going to be 60. And exit the workbench. As you can see, this one, we need to deselect this one and make sure it's not a construction element. So this one is not a standard element, but a construction element, and exit the workbench. It seems I did select it as a standard element. Now we can use this one to create a stiffener. This is the icon for the rib. I need the stiffener. So let's try from the insert menu, dress up features. Now sketch based features, select stiffener. Specify the thickness, which is 10 millimeters. Preview. Make sure neutral fiber is selected. That means that it goes both ways. The thickness is distributed both ways. And preview, select OK. Now I can select the entire part body and change its properties to a different color that maybe is visible with the blue. All right. So there we have our geometry. You can change this one to match with the rest. And that's the process in CATIA. So let me know in the comments which one you think is easier for the beginner, which one you think is more conducive for a more experienced 3D artist or CAD creator. See you in the next episode. We're going to create some more fun parts in this series, and hopefully you're going to enjoy and learn a lot from all of them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when I drop the next episode, and see you in the next episode.